Okay, our next story is here. You know, the proliferation of public universities and polytechnics has been put on hold, at least for the next 7 years. The federal government applied the big stake during the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting of last Wednesday. Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, had presented a damning report regarding an insensitive proliferation, underutilized institutions, overstressed resources, and a drop in academic quality. The government, however, approved 9 new universities despite the freeze. Quality education is not just about academic success, but also about personal growth, character development, and the ability to contribute to society, Asukwa.
Yeah, I think what the government did was apt.
Okay.
Because it was like every year or every administration that comes in
tinkered with the issue.
In fact, what I'm even trying to say is that most senators would always go with that as a major thing. They'll put it as a file in their file and say, well, once you elect me, the next thing I'll bring a university into my senatorial district. So it was becoming too much, and most of these universities will just have universities for university's sake without putting a proper thoughts, for having those universities. Because we must begin to have universities that will bring out, just like the minister said, that will, when once anybody is coming out, must have that, the student must have character. The student should be able to add value to the society, not just going to school. Because what we are having now, we are having so many students who just say, oh, I want to go to university, or I want to go to polytechnic, and just have the quali, as they say, the certificate.
Yeah,
so, but we have to. So what the minister is trying to do now is, we don't just want people to just go to university for the university's sake.
Yeah.
You should be able to say, if I'm going to university, I should be able to come out, to add that value, and also
and
to know what I am doing. Because there are some people where once they go to university and some of them, when once I ask them the simplest question in that their course, you'll be shocked that they don't even know anything about it. And some people will argue that, it is the quality of lecturing. So it means that the
quality of instruction.
Instruction. Either the lecturer or even the environment.
And
so those things are important.
Tell them that the late great Professor Chinua Achebe wrote that monster book, Things Fall Apart, at the age of 28.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And he didn't have the luxury of these gadgets.
No phone. No phone, nothing. It was his head that he wrote the book. You understand? So
went to the library.
Do it as if most students don't even go to library. They will just see it is written there, library, but they don't go there. They don't even know what the books to read. So I think what this minister is trying to do is to try and reshape the education sector. And I think it makes a lot of sense.
Well, I personally think when we emphasized, we became a certificated environment, and it was dangerous.
Sure.
Because you hear, I wonder what gets through your mind when you hear that certificates issued by my country, your country, are not honored.
Yes, are not honored. Even in places like in many African countries, So I think the issue is not the number of universities we have. It is the quality of the universities we have. Today we have 275 universities all over the country, at least as February 2025. 63 are owned by the federal government, 63 are owned by state government, and then 149 are owned by the private. And the number is still going up. We are talking about another 9 French universities today. You see, we are faced with the dilemma, which is the dilemma of the quality of education. It's not just about the quantity. You may have 500 universities. That does not mean that you're producing. Can our university graduates actually compete in the international space? Can they compete with students from in Ghana, in South Africa? Do they have the resources? Do they have the infrastructure? So I think apart from what the federal government has done is good. We are putting a ceiling, no more university. But then, what do we do with the ones that we have now?
Yeah.
For me, I think there should be, on a yearly basis, there should be needs assessment. There should be standard assessment. What kind of infrastructure do they have in these universities? What kind of hygiene? What kind of water, do our students drink? Do they have clinics in some of these universities, either private or or do they have cafeteria? How about the environment? Is it hygienic? Then what about the knowledge resources?
Yeah.
The quality of teaching that they have in some of these schools. Because you find a situation where many private schools just about money. It's driven about, when you go to these universities, they are just like a glorified universities.
Oh yeah.
Even to keep their lawns.
Glorified secondary
schools. Even to keep their lawns, make it clean. When you go to the hostels, you pity the students.
Yeah.
Even the Ionia universities, the federal universities, you go to some universities, you see about 8 students. 4 are legitimate, about 4 others are squatting.
Okay.
And when you go there, you see the kind of food our students are, so it's, when in those days, I think I used to visit my senior brother at University of Lagos. 1 chicken for 4 students. They will give you ice cream. And when you see these students, you think they are born in America, looking fresh.
If you were
fantastic learning environment,
shown a University of Lagos meal ticket,
yes,
5 shillings.
Yeah, in those days,
made sense.
So why is it that our universities cannot produce the food that their students eat?
May I tease you? Yeah. Sorry. Makerere University, Kenya.
Yeah.
People talk about the University of Ghana, Legon.
Yeah.
And the
Dar es Salaam University, Tanzania.
Furabe College, Sierra Leone.
Legon University, Ghana.
So, which university can you point at in Nigeria?
In those days, I think we could talk about the first 3 universities, 4 universities, UNN, UI, University of Lagos. But when you look at the rating globally now, I don't think the first 500 universities, you can't find one university in Nigeria. So we need to find out what has gone wrong with our university system.
Yeah.
I visited one old university in one of the first universities recently in the Southwest. And when I went to the academy, where the lecturers had their office and all that, I noticed that each office was locked with padlock. They had big padlocks. So I was rolling my mind, are we producing criminals here? Old university established as far back 1965. You see padlocks everywhere. Then you see Okada everywhere, taking students from one place to the other. Then you go to the hostel, you see about 8 students in one room. So you find out, you ask yourself, and sometimes these lecturers don't have time to lecture. They fix their lecture at their own convenience. They go for businesses outside.
Some people will remind you that population explosion came.
Yeah, because there was no expansion. There was no expansion, and that's why we were not thinking about how to expand. And we also have the NUC that determines how many students you can take in your schools. Shrinks the university. They are not given the freedom to determine their own future.
Are we thinking tomorrow today?
Yeah, we need to plan ahead.
Yeah.
Look at University of Southern Africa. Some years back, it had about 120,000 students. No university in Nigeria can boast of 50,000 students. So the old ones should be allowed to expand on their own terms.
And when you recall, Asukwa, when you recall that many Nigerians, many foreigners attended school here.
So, sure. People from India, people from South Africa, from Angola,
So in fact, that is one of the things that we have to start thinking of. What happened to our institutions that we don't have foreigners coming, coming here to come and learn? Because even Nigerians, when we finish here, we still go back abroad and we are doing exploits.
Sure.
It's not that we went there to school, we schooled here, but we are going back there to just do maybe 1 or 2 other courses, certification, and then from there we are big. They will now come here, but they are not coming anymore. At all. Even if they are coming maybe for exchange program of maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, and then they will go back.
So could we consider the action of the federal government a plus? Put on hold
it's better.
The proliferation for 7 years.
I think this should have been done way back. Whereby we just know that we just have maybe 100 universities. Federal universities, maybe 50. and those 50, we know how we are going to expand them based on what is currently happening in the world. Because there are some universities, federal universities that we have, they don't even have anything called digital.
Yeah. So
they don't know anything called AI.
How do you reconcile what the Minister of Education has said in one particular school, 600 students, 1,200 teachers?
Yeah, because there's no poor regulation.
Well, yes.
You know,
because
the
they keep
NUC is
accepting.
not, you know, I mean, it's poor regulation, poor quality control. So it's not enough to just, you know, have a moratorium. We must ask ourselves within these 7 years, what do we really want to do?
Yes.
What are the programs that we have in place?
Yeah, that is what we need
you know,
to. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What are the things that we want to do to ensure that we have quality education in our university, that we can compete globally as we used to compete in the past years?
It can be
As far as 1972, UI was one of the best in the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
But do you know one of the
world.
best universities currently in Nigeria? Do you know one of the best?
Tell me.
It's a private university.
Yeah.
It's one of the
Not
best.
a public university.
Not a public university.
Okay. All right. We'll take a commercial break here. We should be back shortly. Don't go away. This is still Journalist Hangout on a Sunday. We'll be back shortly. Thank you.